Craig Fitzgerald from Ness and Fuel and BestRide.com. I'm here with Jim Owen, Marketing and Performance Marketing Manager from Ford Motor Company, and we are here to talk about this car, the Ford GT. This thing is insane, man.
In front of the fastest production car Ford Motor Company has ever built. But this didn't start just a couple of years ago. It started in the 60s with Carroll and his merry band of hot rodders and Henry Ford, the second, wanting to beat Enzo Ferrari and winning in 66, 67, 68, and 69. And 50 years later, coming back to Le Mans and winning again. Now, this year we didn't win.
Podium finish, though.
Podium finish, and it's actually really good given the weight and the power reduction they gave us. But this car is 95% of that race car.
Yep.
The same engine, same suspension. I mean, this car behind us is the competition model, has no AC and no radio. This is the car that will carry forward performance into the future. And 50 years later, hopefully going back to Le Mans winning again.
So, I mean, I love the last GT. It was fantastic. It's a 60s car, felt 60s to me, but this thing is just a purely modern auto.
Night and day difference, right? 0506 wasn't designed for a sanctioning body. Right. Now you drive it and that horsepower, and you could bolt on superchargers and take it over 1,000 horsepower and, standing mile down in Texas over 200 miles an hour. This car was designed with the sanctioned body in mind, right? That car has to be as close as it can. This car was designed for the racetrack. And the driving characteristics that you're going to get out of this car, night and day different from the 05 and 06. This car will point, click, and shoot and make you an unbelievable driver on the racetrack.
So 600 and change, right? 647, under 3 second 0 to 60.
Yeah, and top at 213 miles an hour.
But an EcoBoost 6-cylinder.
So, okay, I'm old school, right?
Yep.
When I first heard we were coming back, past doing the Mustang, which we were looked at, we called it Project Silver. When we came back, I was thinking, all right, we went back there and killed them with displacement in the 60s, right? Man, I'm thinking V12, V16, V24, be the big ugly Americans again, come in and with that power. But form follows function. If you can get 600 plus horsepower out of a V6, where you have a smaller package tray, smaller depth, lighter weight, higher revs, all of those things that you need for endurance racing, that allows you then to design that beautiful air coming through here to keep the downforce there and the coefficient of drag down. So I'm hardcore V8, right? But at the end of the day, it's about winning the races, and this car and this engine was exactly what was needed for the vehicle.
So then you start to see, what have you learned from this car that ends up on F-150s and Mustangs?
So all of Ford Performance, right? I work for Henry Ford III, right? That's my boss. And, unlike those fake Dodge commercials where they have to hire Screen Actor Guild members, my boss has the DNA from our original race car driver and founder. And then Dave Parasak, who heads up the director from the engineering side. Those folks are taking this innovation and performance, not only from a people transfer, meaning the folks who are working on this car are going to rotate through on Explorer, they're going to rotate through on Mustang, they're going to rotate through on Expedition and on F-Series. The learnings that they make personally will be in that car. And then the technology transfer. The things that we are learning here on this car will make our engineering in the future better on the cars and trucks that you'll drive on the street.
So is this one mine? I mean, am I
yours? Let me grab the keys here and give them out to you.
If I do have the money to buy one of these, how long is the wait for these?
So we did an application process. We said we were going to open up the application again in 18 for the next production run. We were building about one a day. We had 6,000 plus applicants globally and 11,000 registrants, for less than at the time 750 cars. So it's different. It's not like it's going to be at your local dealer. There's not a way to, if I go up to Danny Quirk and say, Danny, up in Boston, and say, hey, Danny, how do I rationally allocate 250 cars a year over 10,000 dealers globally? So what we're doing is we're going through an application process, selecting applicants, having them choose the dealer that they want to deliver it through, and then get an opportunity to get into that vehicle.
Well, it's an amazing car. I mean, I just look at every angle, and there isn't a bad angle on it. And the wheels are fantastic. Those dinner plate brake rotors are just awesome.
It's unbelievable. But all of it is form follows function, and that I cannot tell you, because I was, like I said, in the big V8 V8 guy. This V6 gave the ability to design the car so that it could perform on the racetrack so much better, and we're so proud of it.
Have you driven it?
I have driven it multiple times.
Did you scare yourself?
I will put it to you this way. When I drove it out at Utah, so we did the media launch out at Utah where we have the Ford Performance Racing School. Those instructors helped on this, driving these vehicles. I drove it. I was not able to get myself to 2 or 3/10 of the car's capabilities, right? I'm a good driver. I'm not great. I've been instructing and doing that stuff for years. I am not capable of getting all of this out of this car. Now, like Joey Hand, he gets 9-10 out of this car. It makes you feel confident while you're on a racetrack, and that confidence allows you to enjoy the performance that the men and women put into the car.
Well, I think, given the kind of line of people that are around here looking at this thing, I think you got a winner here. So congratulations.
Thank you so
thanks
much.
a lot, Jim. Really appreciate
Glad
it.
to be here in New England.
Yeah, fantastic.